Welcome back to Cocktails and Consoles. It's Melissa, and it's time for another Behind the Bar episode. So, as I'm sure it comes to no surprise to any of you, Pokemon Go has now launched, and I love watching the fallout. And by fallout, I mean watching everyone go crazy about it. And there's a whole lot of goodness to it too. I am watching people who have never worked out before, where working out is not the thing that they like to do, suddenly devoting hours and hours going out to random places that they have no agenda going to, just in the hopes of catching Pokemon. Honestly, I love it. My main gripe with it, where was this 2 years ago? Here's my frustration. We have had huge advancements in wearable tech for quite some time now. It started way back with the Nike fitness band, if you guys remember that, before that unfortunately got shut down. I was a huge fan of that. So the second it came out, I got one. I'll be honest, I don't like working out. I really don't. For those of you guys who do and who can, seriously, my hat's off to you, because it's not fun. It's not fun. You're putting in all this work for good aim, to be healthier, to lose weight, all of the above, but you have to go through horrible stuff to do it. So when the Nike band first came out, I was so excited because I was hoping that the idea would take off and that lots of companies would start building this wearable fitness tech, and they do. You have Fitband, you have all of these companies who are coming out with their own versions of it. Where did they drop the ball? Well, you have all these fitness bands that turn all the activity that you do, from walking to sports to cycling, and it's tracked. It's on a gauge. You can see how well you're doing against yourself. For those of you guys who like to, constantly push yourself and try to get a higher number than you had before, it's perfect. But it's missing huge opportunity. And the opportunity is doing something with that number. And the whole benefit to the Nike wristband was that it turned all this fitness into a currency. It converted it all to a number. At the end of the day, your number was high or low depending on, what kind of activities contributed to it. Now, was it 100% accurate? No. But it was what we didn't have before. The ability to get to a common denominator, no matter what kind of fitness you like to do. That's what was needed. But you have a number, and at the end of the day, you can appreciate the number. You can show off your number compared to other people. For you PvPers out there, I know that's a plus. But there's missing pieces to it. You could turn that number into currency in a game. Imagine, for those of you guys who still play Farmville, if you had the ability to grow your crops faster just by walking around the block, or you got special crops because you spent a month, getting to your optimal heart rate, how many of you would be more incented to go do this horrible stuff because it translates to a game? And that is where Pokemon Go brilliant. Not only do you have to go out and venture, which gets you outside, and for a gamer I can sympathize, that's not always an easy thing to do, but to grow these Pokemon, you have to walk, you have to be active. So all these people who don't even care about fitness or who want to work out, but it's just an awful process, are now incentivized and motivated to go do this stuff. Are they getting healthy by it? Yes. Is it helping them to lose weight? Absolutely. But that's not the focus. And that's the brilliance. Let me paint a picture. For those of you guys who play World of Warcraft or who play any kind of MMO, how many times have you killed murlocs for an eye, or picked 6 herbs, or killed 7 minotaurs. Do you want to do that stuff in real life? No, me neither. Do you ever stop and think when you're playing the game, why the hell am I doing something in a game that I wouldn't even want to do in real life? Yeah, probably. But why don't you think about it actively? Because you're being rewarded for this behavior. The action of killing a bunch of murlocs just in the hunt for one eye gives you experience. Gives you things that you can turn in for better gear, more powers, more fun in the game. MMO got close. That's a start. They started to see what is known as gamification. And gamification applies to both the regular world and the business world. It's incentivizing and motivating people to do work by turning it into a game. Pokemon Go has done it. The frustration? Why aren't there more games like Pokemon Go? The obesity epidemic in the Americas is staggering. And I'll admit, I'm one of them. I want to lose weight. I try practically every month to say, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat healthy, and on the back of my own motivation, I'll do good for about a week. And then, when the scales aren't moving and my clothes aren't instantly fitting better, the motivation is gone. And I know a lot of you guys have felt this too. That is the downside with wanting to lose weight in the traditional method. The rewards are not instantaneous. And to try to keep up that motivation, when you don't have that immediate reward and still trying to make yourself go to the gym or go running or convince your sore muscles it's all worth it, it's hard, and it doesn't have to be hard. Pokemon Go taught us that. Fitness world meet the gaming world. You two should talk way more often because you're both missing a huge opportunity for the gaming industry. All developers want to make their games more immersive, want their players to feel like they're actually in this imaginative world that they're creating. How do you do that? Well, you can sit on a couch and push buttons all day long. But what if you were actually swinging the sword to get your character to swing the sword? Or having to do something with your hands to actually conjure a spell? How much more involved in the game would you feel if you had to do that? The Kinect was revolutionary in that, but even that fell short. It made the gamer the controller. Brilliant. What was needed? The problem? They did nothing with it. Only a couple of developers actually leveraged the technology for the good that it could do, and the games that they put out were a lot of fun. I will admit, I got sweaty playing some of those games. I didn't even realize I was working out. That is the goal. To make yourself healthy without even realizing it. To make increasing your health, to make losing weight a byproduct of having fun. Fitness world. Medical world. You want people to lose weight? You want people to be healthier? And all you're selling to us is, hey, go do all the things you don't want to do, and maybe in a couple of months, you might see a little bit of result. All you had to do was turn it into a game. That's it. We are sorely behind in what we could do with the tech that we have. All these fitness trackers. How hard would it be to take that coding and put it into a game? And it doesn't even have to break the game. Like, let's take the Farmville example. If I ran a mile and I could buy a special house, it's not going to, supercharge me ahead of the game. No one can accuse me of, buy to win, which I get. That's a problem. But I'm still incentivized to do it. At the end of the day, I may not have lost a pound yet, but my farm looks better. Or at the end of the day, my characters have cool new clothes that they never had before. But eventually I'm going to lose that weight, and eventually my health is going to be better. But I'm not aware of it. I'm not looking to justify all the hard work of running and jumping and doing crunches, for God's sake. I'm doing it to further a game. And as a result, I'm getting healthier. That is what we've been missing. And that is what I'm hoping that developers are going to see with the success of Pokemon Go, that if they can take the wearable tech that we have today and just find a way to use it as currency in a game, you'd be amazed how many players will get into it. Fitness industry, the gaming community is vast. That is an untargeted potential right there of people that will buy the tech and who will use it regularly. So it's my hope, game developers out there, that you guys can pick up the mantle and run with it, that you guys have seen the success of Pokemon Go and want to capitalize on that. Now, for those of you guys who may not be able to afford the expensive IP of Pokemon, you can make it into anything. There's an app that I fell in love with, what was it called? Zombies Run, where to further a story, you had to run or you had to walk faster and you had to pick up items and you had to escape zombies. Otherwise, you had to drop the items to get away from it. It made me run. I hate running. Did it have to buy an expensive IP to like Pokemon to do it? No. It just used something that was hot in the media, which is zombies. It's doable. I wish to God I could code because I would want to make it myself, but I can't. But there's a lot of you genius people out there who can, and I really, really hope that you pick up the mantle and run with it. So where am I going with all this? And why am I standing here in the kitchen? Well, in hopes that people are embracing this new healthier lifestyle by going out and catching Pokemon, I wanted to add something to help with that, because as we all know, exercising is only one part of the equation. You do need to eat better. Where do a lot of us fall short? Breakfast. If you're like me, you want to sleep in as long as you possibly can. The last thing you want to do is crawl into the kitchen and make something before you got to head off to work. If I have any time in the morning before work, my priority is coffee, not breakfast. So what I have for you guys, and Officer Dan, this was inspired by you, is a recipe that you can actually make at the beginning of the week, and you can have it for breakfast all week long. All you have to do is just take it, pop it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and you're out the door. It's portable, it's delicious, it's healthy, mostly. There's bacon, but in the scale that we're making it, it's not that much. I hope that it can help to make your mornings a little bit brighter and make your day a little bit healthier. So what are we making? We are making my favorite mini egg frittatas. If you've never had an egg frittata, it's very easy. It's basically, think of scrambled eggs or a hash and put it in little mini muffin and put it in the little muffin tins. It's that simple. And it can be filled with whatever you like. Normally when I make this, I tend to use 3 ingredients max. You don't want to overload it. I will use a starch for structure. I'll use a meat for fat, and I'll use some kind of herb or onions to be able to add to some flavor. So what are we dealing with right now? So we have, for the starch, a sweet potato, and for this one, if you make it with the same ingredients, I recommend getting the bright yellow ones instead of the orange ones because it has less water content, and that's going to be important. For the meat, of course, bacon. You can use turkey, you can use sausage, you can use whatever you like. You can even choose to not have the meat in there at all. Unfortunately, you can't make this dish vegetarian because the main ingredient is eggs. Sorry. And for the additive, I'm using green onions. I like the color. It's a lot easier to cut for me than a regular onion, so I use those. So, start by taking a bunch of green onions and chop them up nice and thin. Take about 6 to 8 slices of really good quality bacon and then cut them up nice and thin. These are actually what's known as lardons in French, which basically means matchstick. You guys can see that. And then we're going to want to grate the sweet potato. or you can put it in a food processor. Before we grate the sweet potato, we're actually going to put the bacon into a non-stick pan and put it on very low heat so that way we can render out that fat, because we're going to need that fat to cook the sweet potato.
Take your bacon slices and put into a non-stick pan over medium-low heat. Add in any pepper that you like and a fair amount of salt too to really pull out that fat. If you like yours on the spicy side like I do, feel free to throw in some red pepper and stir. Grate your sweet potato, or you can use frozen hash browns if you so desire. Add your grated sweet potato in with the bacon and stir really well to make sure it's coated in the bacon fat. You're going to want to let these brown for a little bit, so try not to stir them too much once they're nice and coated. Toss in your green onions and give them a little bit of salt too. You want to pull out some of that moisture. You're going to cook these for about 1 to 2 minutes until they're just slightly soft. Take a mini muffin pan and spray with some non-stick spray. Spoon the hash mixture into the cups about 3/4 of the way up. Whisk together some eggs and add some cheese if you like, and pour over the hash mixture until it just covers. You don't want these coming up too high or they will blow over the sides. Bake these in a 300-degree oven until the eggs are just set. Once the frittatas have cooled, take them out of the pan and wrap them in some ceran wrap. You can put these in the fridge and they're good for up to 4 days.
And that's it. Super simple. All you need to do to warm this up in the morning is to put it on either a folded piece of paper towel or on a napkin, pop in the microwave for about 20 seconds, maybe sprinkle a little bit of salt on top, and you're good to go. It's just that simple. Easy to take, easy to carry. Honestly, this is the best way I've found to get a good warm meal in the morning, full of protein, full of some good vitamin B. I just love these things. Again, you can customize it however you like. That's the beautiful thing about this thing, is you can really make it yours. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Would love to hear your comments on what you guys think of Pokemon Go. And if you try the recipe, would love to hear. If you happen to take pictures, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'll put it somewhere out here. Would love to see what you guys come up with in terms of your own mini frittatas. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers!